Hello to all of our field experience students, both out of area and out of our partnership district. My name is Stephanie Gloa, and I'm the field experience coordinator for the Watson College of Education, and I will work with you for all of your placements in the schools from this semester all the way through to your internship semester. I am part of the Office of Professional Experiences, which is made up of Cindy Wiseman, our Director of Professional Experiences, Logan McKnight, who's our internship and licensure coordinator, and myself. And today I wanted to share just some information with you about your Springfield experience, what to expect, next steps. I will have a packet of information that's going to be emailed out to you, so if you can please be sure before you watch the rest of this video to number one, print out that packet, and number two, to locate the school system calendar that you're going to be located in. For instance, if you're expecting a placement in Carteret County, please be sure to print the Carteret County calendar out, as I want you to make notes in the packet and on the calendar throughout our few minutes together today. The first page in the packet is our field experience process. You can read through that in its entirety, but just to highlight a few of the dates and details that are pertinent to now. All of you have already completed a field experience application, so we have that information from you in order to be able to place you accordingly. The next date I want you to make a note by on your sheet is Monday, February 6th. That is the date that you will receive your placement from my office. You will receive your placement by 5 p.m., so please know that we promise not to leave our office that day until you do have your placement in hand, and that will come via email. Then you'll view your placement in my Seaport. The next date to note is Friday, February 10th. That's the deadline to make initial contact with your teacher. So you're going to receive your placement on a Monday, and we ask that you please contact your teacher right away, but no later than that Friday. You'll be given your school contact information, the information for the site coordinator at your school, and in each of our schools we have a site coordinator. For those of you who are out of area in Raleigh, Charlotte, or beyond, your school would not have a site coordinator, so you would just contact your actual assigned teacher directly. Please be sure, of course, that that email is written professionally, that you address your teacher as Mr. Or Miss, and that you introduce yourself, let your teacher know you're excited to be at the school, and then work out details for your first visit and for your schedule for the semester. The next date on this field experience process sheet is Wednesday, April 26th. That is the deadline for your Springfield experience. So please be sure between February 6th and April the 26th that you map out all of your visits, that you complete all of your time in the school. And if you end up being out there, longer than what's required of you, we think that's great. So we're going to switch gears to take a look at the actual calendar for your county. So again, if you've not already printed that out, please pause this, print it so we can make some notes. Sometimes to see it in a calendar form is just helpful as we map out the semester. So on your calendar, go ahead and circle February 6th. Again, that's the date in which you're going to receive your placement. And go ahead and also make a note by Monday, March 6th through Monday, March 10th. That is UNCW spring break. Especially for those of you that are online, that may not have a big impact on you since you're not face-to-face for classes, but do know that you're not required to be out in the schools during spring break. However, if you would like to take advantage of that time, we certainly encourage it, and you're welcome to be out in the schools during that time. So we always like to note that if you are traveling for spring break or you do not plan to be in your school, please just be sure that your teacher is fully aware of that so that they know not to expect you that week, okay? And then you will notice, now this is different for every county, but for New Hanover County, where we are in Wilmington, the school system spring break is April 10th through the 14th. That may be different for each county, so please take note of when your county's spring break is. Schools aren't going to be in session, teachers aren't going to be there, so you're going to need to plan around that week. And then again, Wednesday, April 19th is the deadline to complete field experience. For those of you who are placed in a county where spring break is April 10th through the 14th, you'll notice that you only have 3 days after spring break until the field experience deadline. So I would encourage you, if at all possible, to plan to complete your field experience before spring break starts. That's just a piece that's been helpful to other students. Regardless of how you work out your schedule with your teacher, you will have that flexibility to work directly with your teacher, and we expect that you are very open in your communication and, planning ahead for the course of the semester. Okay. The next piece that I'm going to talk for a few minutes about is some of our general field experience expectations. Please be sure again to have that printed out with you so that you can make notes, or look at the sheet along with me as we talk through some of the requirements and expectations. The first one is when you receive your placement, please contact your school immediately. You know that your placement's going to go out on Monday, February 6th, and you know that you have to make initial contact that week. I would encourage you to even have a draft email ready so that on February 6th you can contact your teacher and get started. It is your responsibility to get in touch with your teacher, so please know that failure to do that, if you'd contact us in, another 3 weeks and never did make that initial contact, that your placement may be canceled. But I expect that you would all be excited and eager to get started and to be intentional about making that initial contact. The second main requirement is that you're expected not just to make contact right away, but to begin your field experience right away and attend consistently throughout the semester. Number 3, you're expected to provide your own transportation. For any of you that made a note on your field experience application with transportation or other concerns, we'll do everything that we can to be able to assist in that, but transportation does fall on the student as being responsible. The fourth expectation, and probably the most important, is that professional dress, professional attire is required. We give some guidelines on what professional dress looks like, and these guidelines are bulleted out on the sheet that you have in front of you. Some of the main pieces are that are not appropriate would be jeans, leggings, unless you're wearing leggings under a dress, shorts, t-shirts or hoodies, especially during the winter months. Make sure that you're thoughtful in terms of what you put over top of your professional dress. If you may have a outfit that's completely appropriate for this school and then you throw a hoodie on top of that, we ask that you don't do that and that you layer, because you never know if a school is going to be hot or cold, but that the pieces that you do put on top of your clothes are appropriate. Tank tops or spaghetti straps not covered by an outer garment. Especially for our female students, we ask that you consider wearing a cardigan if a shirt isn't a full sleeve, or that you wear a cami underneath the shirt to make sure that you're appropriate in that regard. And then overly short skirts is another piece that we want to highlight. For dresses or skirts, knee length is what's typically appropriate at the schools. Flip-flops or tennis shoes, we ask that even if your teacher's wearing jeans or flip-flops, even if they're not following these guidelines, that as a UNCW field experience student that you do follow the guidelines. You're going to want to dress comfortable, especially with your shoes, and we encourage a closed-toed shoe as well as something that's comfortable. So whether that be heels that you're very comfortable in or flats is what I would probably prefer for myself. Exposed cleavage or midriffs, a student can be completely professionally dressed standing up, but especially for those of you in an elementary or a middle school or even a high school, many of you are going to be leaning down at a table working with students, or perhaps even on the floor doing floor work with the student. So be sure that your professional dress covers you both standing up and bending over working with students. Any attire that's tight, revealing, obscene, or disruptive to the learning environment, you want to go in and you want to make a great first impression with your teacher and with your the students you'll be working with in the classroom. We love the line disruptive to the learning environment because you're there to add to the environment, not to take away from it. So just be sure to not dress so flashy that that's the first thing students see whenever you walk into the classroom, but to really be representing yourself in a professional way and also to be comfortable. Any clothing, of course, that promotes alcohol, tobacco, or controlled substances is not appropriate in the school setting. And any rings other than your basic earrings. So if you have a nose ring, a lip ring, a tongue ring, any other rings you must remove. So students sometimes ask, can I put a clear insert in? And we ask that you do fully remove any piercings before you enter the school, and then you can put them in as you leave the school. And exposed tattoos, again, this is a question that we get often of, but my teacher has tattoos. Please know that your teacher's requirements versus the UNCW requirements may be a little bit different. And in terms of tattoos, if you have to wear a long sleeve shirt, a Band-Aid, bracelets over your tattoo, anything that you need to do that is required as a UNCW student. Number 5 is a really important one as well. As you are establishing your professional reputation as you complete your field experience. We tell students from here forward, even through your teaching career, to be sure that you carefully monitor what you are putting online. So sites like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, any social media site that you can think of, to be very careful on your privacy settings and to make sure that everything that would come up online would be appropriate. So if you haven't recently, please go ahead and Google yourself and just make sure to set any privacy settings as needed. Any use of laptop or electronic devices is not permitted unless your teacher's given you prior approval. Most of you will not need a laptop as part of a field experience, but in the event that you do need it for note-taking or for some particular purpose, please be sure to communicate that with your classroom teacher so that he or she is aware. And same with your cell phone. You should not have any need for a cell phone. However, if there's a true family emergency, extenuating circumstance, please let your teacher know and put your cell phone on vibrate, and you can excuse yourself if it's a true instance that you do need to answer a call. Otherwise, we ask that you turn your cell phone completely off or to leave it in your car. Number 6, all lesson plans must be submitted and approved by your teacher. We ask that you give about a week's notice to your teacher so that you and your teacher can work through any changes, any suggestions to your lesson plans. Also, please be sure that any materials that you need for the school, that you have those printed out in the classroom well in advance of teaching your lesson. I'd encourage you to have that in your classroom a day or two prior. Number 7, it's important that you sign in at the main office as a school visitor. When you go, each school has a different policy, but many of our local schools at least have you sign in on a computer and take a picture. You'd wear a sticker throughout the day. Regardless of what your school's policy is, for each and every visit, report directly to the main office to sign in and back to the main office to sign out before you leave the school for the day. That is so important for our safety and security policies for the school, and we ask that you make that a priority for each and every visit. Number 8, bring your field experience verification log to the school with you. We'll get to the verification log in just a minute, as that's actually part of our packet as well, so I'll touch upon that in just a few minutes. And lastly, number 9, know the requirements of your field experience courses and be able to articulate them to your teacher. We do share the requirements as we email out to the schools with final placements. However, our teachers expect that when you enter their classroom, either to communicate via email prior to entering or on your first visit, to set up a meeting with your teacher and let them know, I have this many lessons to teach. These are, some of my goals for the field experience. Talk through and communicate with your teacher about what you're there to accomplish. And then at the bottom of that page, you'll see my contact information. And again, you're welcome to contact me at any time. My phone number, email, and office number is all on that sheet. And I believe you've all received at least one or more emails from me at this point. The next page in your packet is the field experience evaluation criteria. We give this to you just for a reference, but please know at the end of the semester, for most of our field experience courses, your teacher will be asked to complete an electronic evaluation. So if you are in a course that is evaluated, you have the criteria in front of you for your reference, but again, you can trust that we'll handle that directly electronically with your teacher. And then the last page of the packet is the field experience verification log. Please be sure that you take this log with you on each and every visit to your assigned school. You'll be asked to indicate the date, your arrival time, your departure time, make a quick note of any activities that you've done in the classroom. For instance, if you are required to teach a lesson for a course, make sure that you highlight that so that your course instructor is aware. And then your teacher will sign off on your hours after each visit. I tell students if you're forgetful, I'd encourage you to leave this either in your car or, better yet, ask your teacher if you can leave your log in the classroom. But we do ask you not to put your teacher in a position to sign off on hours after the fact. So make that a priority to take that with you for each and every visit. And as you'll see at the very top of the form should be completed and turned into your course instructor. So if you're an online student, please be sure to scan that form in. That way you can have a copy for yourself and you can distribute it to any of your course instructors as needed. Any other questions about your field experience throughout the semester? Please don't hesitate to reach out to me at any time. I'm usually always accessible by phone or by email or in person as well. And I look forward to hearing about your successes and am happy to assist you along the way if there's anything that you need from our end. So thank you very much and have a great time this semester.